Should Rian Johnson be plotting a sequel to Knives Out? That is the headline and the question I'll be pondering on today's MBE movie news. And look, this one is coming in from a wide variety of different sources, but primarily I believe it is coming in from Variety, and they are suggesting that the director of course, Knives Out, Rian Johnson, the very, how shall I put it, divisive figure of Rian Johnson, is indeed plotting another take on the Benoit Blanc character, another movie, another whodunit movie, and at that, and they are suggesting that this may very well be a positive move for Rian, and look, I concur completely with them, or agree if you want to be less fancy about it. I think this is the correct decision for the man. I think this was a return to form for Rian Johnson. He's proven once again that he is a very talented filmmaker when he does his own thing, plays in his own sandbox with no expectations, no 30-40 years worth of legacy characters to perhaps destroy if things go a little bit awry, like they did on The Last Jedi for a great many Star Wars fans. No, but here he has come back to his own movie. He's created it out of his own head. It's his own little, I don't know what you'd call it, project, for lack of a better word, and it was wonderful. It was a great addition to the whodunit genre. We already spoke about it. It was in my top 10 movies of last year. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just every element of it, really. The tension, the twists and turns, the dialogue popping off the screen wonderfully, the fully fleshed out array of characters in here, and there was a great deal of characters, and they all had a life and a vitality and a personality about them that just made them feel like living, breathing people. Now, that sounds like a acutely strange thing to say. That should be the basics of a movie. You should be able to deliver us believable characters on the screen, but for whatever reason, a great many movies seem to fail in delivering honest portrayals of human beings for whatever reason. They look like cardboard cutouts on a screen. They're reciting the lines on the page, but it's not believable. And look, that's certainly not something that's the case here. He gave us living, breathing characters within this world that he created, this wacky world featuring Benoit Blanc. And look, I was watching Jojo Rabbit the other day, and it's the same with Taika. This is a man that also understands how to create beautiful dialogue that feels realistic and that pops off a screen. But this movie, I'd be all on board for seeing Benoit Blanc coming back. There is people criticising news of this. It isn't even confirmed yet that it's actually happening, but people are out there typing away furiously that it's the wrong thing, that this once again highlights a lack of originality in Hollywood, that we should be perhaps doing something different again, like Knives Out, but in a different genre with different characters and just a different thing entirely. But I disagree. Not every sequel that happens spells a lack of originality. I just feel like, much like the great whodunits in the past, the likes of Columbo and Sherlock Holmes and obviously Hercule Poirot from Agatha Christie, sometimes it just necessitates, a great character like this necessitates more stories, more adventures, more whodunit movies. We've seen it with Hercule Poirot, Murder on the Orient Express, and then it was off to Death on the Nile, and Lord knows how many other adventures. We've seen it with Columbo. His story spanned 30, 40, 50 years, and it never get tiring for me. I've been a big Columbo fan all of my years on this planet, and I'm only a fairly young chap still, so it's not an old, ageing geriatric programme that connects with people from 50 years ago. Anyone can enjoy a whodunit, and that is one of the things that I loved about this movie, incidentally, the fact that it is once again highlighting a resurgence, a renaissance if you like, for the whodunit genre. We obviously got Murder on the Orient Express from Kenneth Branagh a couple of years ago, featuring a star-studded cast. We got the Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston murder mystery via Netflix, and now we got Knives Out just at the end of last year, and it was wonderful. Without repeating myself, it really was, and I feel like it's deserving of a second story featuring Benoit Blanc, because I says, when we spoke about the movie on our top 10 of 2019, I thought Daniel Craig was one of the standout actors in the movie. He was wonderful. He just had a certain withdrawn personality when they were obviously interrogating the potential murder suspects in this family, this very dysfunctional family. He sat back and allowed Lakeith Stanfield's detective character and his partner to do the talking. Well, he just strangely played a key on the piano, and it caused some disconcerting or discombobulation within the actors, or the actual characters in this case, in the movie. And then obviously as the movie expanded out, he became more and more of an important figure. He splayed out his personality and showed just how perceptive he was and how good a detective he was. And look, much like Hercule Poirot, a very, very enticing character, very nuanced, and just, I want to see more stories with this guy, so I'm well on board for it. And in fact, Rian Johnson says in his quotes that he and Daniel Craig will be on board for it as well. Apparently Daniel really enjoyed working with Rian, he really enjoyed getting into the skin of this character, which is not a surprise after playing Bond for Lord knows how many years. He has done other movies in that time though. But the exact quotes were, I can get together with Daniel every few years and do a new Benoit Blanc mystery, new location, new cast, new mystery. It'd be so much fun. I agree, Rian. Don't know what these little bitching, whiny panty-waiters are talking about. He then went on to say, we had briefly thought of doing a cheeky little thing at the end of the credits where just at the end of the crawl we'd put Benoit Blanc will return in, and then they'd name the next Benoit Blanc mystery. And that was actually a part of the in-theatre commentary which he provided not long after the initial release in the theatres. But yeah, look, as I did say, well on board for it. Loved the character, loved Daniel Craig's performance, thought Rian was returning to form with this movie. He got great performances out of a really star-studded cast, likes of Michael Shannon, Toni Collette, Chris Evans, Christopher Plummer. This guy always turns up though, doesn't he? Let's be honest. And just, I'd be fascinated to see him bring together an even more but distinctly different star-studded cast. I don't want to see the same family again. I want to see a new location, like A Death on the Nile, in his own universe, and I want to see a distinctly different story and see what he can conjure up in terms of twists and turns. Can he repeat the success of Knives Out and give us a really cool whodunit movie and just add to the genre, because it was a genre that was dying in its arse for a long, long time, and I'm just happy to see it's back and thriving now. But look, I'm going to move on to the next topic on that note. I don't even know how far into this show I am. I've lost the plot already. And this one is coming from Collider, and it's an exclusive all about the great Christian Bale apparently being in talks over a potential role in Thor Love and Thunder. Now, there is not much meat to the bones of the actual article. They are just suggesting that the actor is indeed in talks with Marvel Disney about starring in Taika Waititi's upcoming Thor 4 movie, and I don't think there's been many negative remarks regarding this news. I think most people are big Christian Bale fans. They recognise the man's greatness, what he's accomplished over the years, doing a wide array of different characters, the way that he is incredibly passionate about his craftsmanship and really dives into every individual character and gives it his all. I can't see many people being against this move, and in fact it's not something I've seen causing any great consternation amongst people that I know of and speak to about movies in general. It's coming from MovieWeb as well, a second article which is pondering who he could indeed be playing. This is actually the Thor writer, a former Thor writer, and he's suggesting that his vote would be going to Christian Bale playing Dario Agger, who is, I believe, an antagonistic figure who may or may not be Minotaur, I want to say his name is. I think he doubles as a sort of nefarious CEO at some corporation. I can't get it. Roxon Energy Corporation. And he is this sort of dual figure. And we've also seen Christian portraying a dual sort of figure before with Bruce Wayne, Batman. He's this shiny Bruce Wayne business suited and booted figure during the day, and by night he's a crepe crusader going out and doing some shit that needs to be done to keep the streets of Gotham safe and free of criminals. So it's not something that's out there for Christian to portray a duality, I want to say, explore duality within a character. And in this case it'd be very intriguing because it's actually an antagonistic character to boot, so we could potentially be seeing Christian Bale facing off against obviously Thor and what's her name again? I always forget her goddamn name. Jane, played by Natalie Portman, who will of course be the mighty Thor herself. She will be a female version, and of course Valkyrie, Tessa Thompson, newly assumed to the throne in obviously new Asgard. That being intriguing. There is a whole array of different options available though. He could be playing Adam Warlock, something I don't want to see. I would prefer that role to be reserved for Zac Efron. I've seen so many concept art of Zac portraying that character, and I've just got my heart set on him coming in to this universe. I think it's long overdue for Efron to become a superhero figure. The man is jacked. He's absolutely solid, and he's a great actor who's continuing to expand out his range and dabble in different genres. And I'd love to see him play Adam Warlock at some point, so I don't want to see Christian playing him, and I don't think he will be, because we've seen the likes of James Gunn, Kevin Feige coming out and saying that it's not quite right yet to introduce that character to the story, or the cinematic universe. The main frontrunner for Christian, though, is, and fan favourite by all accounts, is Beta Ray Bill. And look, it's no real shock to me when you look at it. It shouldn't be a shock to anyone. When you look at the character, he indeed has proven himself worthy of lifting Mjolnir at one point in the comics. Played a very sizable role. He actually replaced Thor at one point, I do believe. And he's a very cool character. He's got a horse head, he's an alien, very strong, and he's neat looking, and I think this would be the perfect fit perhaps for Christian as well, a man who has such a busy schedule. For him to have his cake and eat it, if you like, come in, get a big payday, get to dabble his foot into, or feet, toes, whatever, into the mucky pools of the MCU. Also a man who's worked with DC, but not actually give up all of his schedule or his diary, if you like. In the process, he could essentially come in and do some mocapping, be in and out in a couple of weeks or to a month, have his performance done, and then go off and do a multitude of other movies or roles. And we get the best of both worlds. We have a meaty role, an interesting, colourful character, Christian Bale lending his amazing acting chops, but then he's also going off and doing other things. So maybe that would be the best of both worlds for Christian. It's a cool character, and it's not eating up his entire calendar year in terms of being an all-encompassing role for him. They're going to say Galactus and whatnot. Balder's another one that intrigues me. I don't think Galactus will be happening. Balder is the half-brother of Thor. Never really looked at. Perhaps his time's been and gone with Ragnarok already having transpired, and him being a primary driver in that happening. They're going to say Hercules and whatnot. So you get the point. There's a wide array of different characters that he could be playing. The two front-runners appear to be Dario Aga, or that goddamn horse-headed one whose name's already Beta Ray Bill. It nearly left me already. And if I was to have my pick, I would like one of those two, I have to say, with a preferential treatment probably going to Dario Aga, because I just want to see Christian playing a dark antagonistic figure alongside the cheerful sort of what the hell would you call vivaciousness of a Thor character. You know, he's just non-stuffy now. He's not a Shakespearean tragedy. He's giving his jokes every 2 minutes or whatnot. And all in all, I'm just excited to see Christian Bale coming in. One of my all-time favourite actors of his era, and my era as well, growing up watching him in a wide array of different roles. He's just wonderfully talented, and yeah, I can't wait to see if he does indeed step into Taika Waititi's movie, because I just love Taika as well. I want to see more Korg, I want to see more Taika movies. Hot off the trail, if you'd like. I'm just absolutely shite at doing scenes of watching Jojo Rabbit. I can't wait to see more of this guy's movies. He's producing one at the moment, I do believe, as well. But look, I'll move on quickly to the next topic. This one is coming in from Screen Rant, and it's all about Hans Zimmer reportedly coming in and replacing, I do believe, Dan Romer as the composer for the upcoming James Bond No Time to Die. This is coming in from some other source who's completely eluding me at the moment. I don't imagine it would have been broken by Screen Rant, but they are saying that yes, indeed, Dan Romer has left due to creative conflict. He has went off to pastures new, and that they have went to the incredibly talented hands of one Hans Zimmer, and there's no pun intended there, incidentally. Now, this seems like a perfect fit. Hans has become almost ever present in Hollywood over the last 15 years or so. Even when he's not present, he's still present, such as the plagiarism that's rife in Hollywood in terms of using his scoring as a temp track for movies which haven't yet acquired a composer. So his fingerprints are all over modern day action blockbusters and just movies in general. The man's so talented, and he's got such ambiguity in his scoring that you can really take his scores and put them in any movie, any genre, and they work equally well. And he's just wonderful. I mean, I speak about Christopher Nolan all the time. Massive fan of that guy. Love his work. I've never seen a bad movie from him, from Memento onwards. And he's been working with Hans for the last 10 years or so in a whole array of movies. Interstellar, Dunkirk, also the Dark Knight trilogy. Some of my favourite movies over the last decade. And Hans is just incredible, even going back to the 90s, working on The Rock and whatnot, and I think he worked on The Thin Red Line, I want to say. Just an amazing composer, and distinctly different to my other all-time favourite composer, John Williams, in that he doesn't have really unique themes that transcend the actual score and you can pick them out right away, but his scores are just wonderful, they're nuanced and they're just beautiful, often using metronomes and whatnot, and just really cool techniques like ever building crescendos that never seem to hit the crescendo, and it creates a sense of uneasiness. Now, how would this lend itself to No Time to Die? I am not entirely sure. Obviously Bond is its own genre in a way, it has its own feel to it. We've had the likes of Thomas Newman doing composing for those movies over the last few years, and some would say Newman has been copying Zimmer in the way that he has been scoring movies, and indeed there's been a few copied Hans Zimmer when it comes to big blockbuster movies over the last 10 years. I would love to see him coming in, I hope it's true. It's one box he's never ticked, he's never scored a Bond movie. This will be Daniel Craig's last Bond movie, and from the trailers I'm super excited for it. I think he's delivered a really cool performance by the looks of it. Rami Malek looks incredible as a villain. It looks like a really interesting story, a great action flick, and I can't wait to see what he brings if he does come in. That's all I can really add, really. There's not much meat to the bones of it other than to say that Hans Zimmer is scoring a goddamn Bond movie, and that should be enough to excite any movie fan out there that knows anything about movies. Time will tell whether he can balance the unbelievably iconic Bond theme with his unique style and how it's going to work out. But look, I'm excited for the movie anyway, and I'm going to move on that note because I'm talking myself into a rabbit hole and I'll never get out of it. And this one's all about Avatar 2 and its concept art revealing new looks at Pandora. Now, James Cameron's upcoming Avatar 2 is obviously a bit of a divisive subject for a lot of people. The original Avatar, incredibly successful, so much so that it was the all-time grossing #1 movie for over a decade. Only just been topped, of course, by Endgame, which I did celebrate, but I'm going to come across as a slightly hypocritical little shit here when I say that, having looked at this concept art, I am feeling a renewed sense of excitement for this movie, because look, even though it's dropped right out of pop culture, Avatar as an IP, as a franchise, distinctly forgettable, almost like Ferngully on acid meets a sci-fi setting. Even with that aside, you can't write off James Cameron, that'd be strange, and his ability to innovate in Hollywood, his ability to create blockbuster movies which are just epic in scale and very, very cool to look at, a visual feast if you'd like. And when you look at these concept art pictures, Jesus Christ, they are just awe-inspiring in their beauty, they really are wonderful. A shot of two Na'vi overlooking and the best word I could describe is lush oceanic setting with rock jutting out, and we've got wonderful colours of blue, green and white, and a beautiful sunriser set. It just looks amazing. There's another one where it looks like an island and we have these magical looking winged beasts with Na'vi on them. We've got rocks, of course, again jutting up into the sky, wonderfully alien looking circular rock formations with a big gas giant in the background. And then finally, my favourite of these 4 leaked images, or released images, they're not being leaked, is this nighttime shot of a Na'vi standing on what looks like a gigantic leaf on the water under a beautifully blue dark sky, moons and the same gas giant in the background. It's just wonderful. The setting of Pandora is wonderful. Even if you have complaints over Avatar, one thing you can't slag is the visuals and the actual planet itself. It's just incredible to look at, so unique to have these little rock formations floating in the sky, just wonderful to look at. And I'm absolutely sure that this movie will be an absolute visual masterpiece, and I'm sure it will take the world by storm, and it may even gross over 2 billion again. I did say previously it would be more likely to flop than to hit the numbers of the original Avatar, but I'm changing my mind when I look at those concept art, because it's James Cameron. The man has like 3 movies, I think, in the top 10 grossing, top 5 grossing of all time. I know he certainly has 2, Titanic and obviously Avatar. And you can't write him off. You write this man off at your peril. But look, I'm done. I am done with this topic. It's just 4 images. I've said my bit on it. I'm super excited for the movie now, having seen it. And I know Disney will promote the absolute hell out of it. They will be battering audiences hellaciously over the next year or so. Probably even re-release Avatar and try and get it in number 1 so they can market this movie as the sequel to the number 1 grossing movie of all time. They're sneaky little bitches like that, Disney. But guys, I will finish up the show by ending on an intriguing article. That's what I'll say. It's coming in from MovieWeb. I say intriguing because it's intriguing to me, but it may not be intriguing to anyone else under the age of 30. I'm not giving my age away there, but in a sense I'm 30 years old, and Lord knows I feel 50 at the moment. But this one, as I did say, MovieWeb, and it's all about Willow. Obviously the Ron Howard movie from 1988, I want to say, 88. And of course starring Warwick Davis and penned by the great George Lucas. It is getting a sequel series, and it is going to be popping up on Disney Plus in the mid to near future, and it's been penned by Lawrence Kasdan's son, Johnny Kasdan, a writer in his own right, of course. He tweeted that the office is open. There was a little billboard with a cap with Willow in the middle of it, and he's letting us know that it's coming, and it's going to be a direct sequel to the events of the Willow movie, which of course was a wonderful movie. Strangely, a combination of Terry Gilliam's Monty Python movies and other absurdities that he likes to create, and Star Wars. It felt like an operatic sci-fi movie with just the absurdity of a Monty Python. Wonderful characters, lush, amazing landscapes, beautiful sci-fi setting, and we had Mad Martigan, obviously played by Val Kilmer, if I can speak. So will he be back? I would certainly love to see him. I know he's not the fittest at the moment, but he did of course make a cameo in, obviously, Top Gun Maverick, which is set to come out this year. So certainly he is fit enough that he can pop up in maybe a short little cameo in this. Going to be great to see Warwick Davis coming back. Cannot wait to see him reprising the role. I really enjoyed the movie. I was late to the party with Willow. It took me up to I think a year and a half ago to finally watch it. I was just utterly taken on with the set and the characters and the mythology that was created. One thing you can't say about George Lucas, terrible dialogue creator though he is, the man has a wonderful ability to craft incredibly unique locales and amazing worlds with just amazing mythology. Look at the Force and the Jedi and whatnot. He did it here with this as well. And so excited to see that Disney are not just taking big franchise things, but they're actually going and doing small little feature things off of TV shows, off of lesser known properties like Willow. Hopefully this will be something that we'll see continuing on. Maybe we'll see a James and the Giant Peach thing happening, a TV show. I'd love to see that, having grown up watching that. And again, it just shows you the rich, diverse catalogue they have at their grasp, and that they can just tap into a whole array of different things and give us so much exciting content. Disney Plus not far away and coming to Britain now. It'll be a couple of months and it'll be here, barring it's not being nuked by Iran or something like that in the next couple of weeks. I'm very excited for it, and I'll be excited to see Falcon and the Winter Soldier, watching The Mandalorian again, legitimately this time, and then looking forward to things like this Willow and whatnot. But look guys, I am done. I am well and truly done. I'm done in the head and I'm done with this show. What was your thoughts on the array of different topics I spoke about? There was an array this time. Do you think Nice Out should get a sequel? Do you think Rian Johnson is perfectly within his rights to bring back the Benoit Blanc character, obviously Daniel Craig? What do you think about Christian Bale coming into the MCU and starring in Thor: Love and Thunder? What's your thoughts on Avatar 2 and Hans Zimmer playing or composing the next Bond movie? And what do you think about Willow as well, making its way to Disney Plus? If you have anything to say about those topics, you can comment below and let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and you can subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And if you do, then you'll see my ugly mush again tomorrow, where I'll be breaking down my top 10 most anticipated movies of this year. See you then.